God, is that my Discord beeping at us?
What's up, guys? How's it going? Welcome to the stream scene. It is good to have you guys today. We've got a really cool episode for you guys. We're going to be talking about the St. Jude Play Live 2019 season, including the summit that just happened this past week, and some tips for raising money for charity, whether it's St. Jude or another charity stream you're planning. So I am joined here by my lovely co-host, the Hunter Wild. What's up, Hunter?
Hi, hello. This is a very strange moment for me because this is the first stream that I have done in any capacity since my announced hiatus from my personal stream. And honestly, this is a big relief for me being able to get on and talk about such an incredible, vital, important, and critical. How many other synonyms can I put in there?
3 more.
Okay. Well, now it's a spotlight pressure. Subject for a growing number of streamers. It's something that Loco and I have taken super seriously and really involved ourselves in heavily over the last several years. And now we're seeing so many more people get more and more involved, get deeper into it. And I'm thrilled to be able to share the experiences of 2 of our esteemed colleagues, peers, today on the show. It's Glam and BanzaiBaby. Hi, how are you guys? How are you doing today? Thank you for being on here too, by the way. Huge ups.
Yeah.
Oh, and tell us a little bit about yourself. Sorry, I got distracted. If you want to tell us
not
who you
done
are.
this before.
I know. Well, it's been like 3 days since I haven't streamed. It's like I've lost it all.
Welcome to Twitch.
Who are you?
Welcome.
Who are you? What are you about? What do you do? Bonsai, let's start with you.
Oh, okay, all right. Hello, everybody. My name is BanzaiBaby. I do woodworking, cooking, and mainly like tabletop role-playing games here on Twitch. I mostly just make things and make loud noises. Yeah.
Awesome.
That sounds
Hell
on
yeah.
brand. What about you, Glam?
I'm GlamShatterSkull. We listen to a lot of metal. We play generally Elder Scrolls Online, Warframe, assorted indies, RPGs, and sometimes some Magic Arena as well.
That's awesome. So we're going to be talking about the St. Jude Play Live event that's been going on. I think this is now its 5th year existing on Twitch. And for you guys, how long have you guys been a part of the St. Jude fundraising?
I'd say for me, 3 years altogether. And then 2 years I've been seriously doing some fundraising for this event. So yeah, last year was the first time I actually did go to the event, but I didn't get to enjoy it that much because I was doing stream on kind of things. But yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest. I just started at the end of last year, was probably around October, November-ish. And I didn't even know the summit existed. I didn't even know there was a prize structure or anything like that. We just kind of started doing it. And then it was like a pleasant surprise. It was like, oh, really? Let's go.
That's awesome. What about you, Hunter?
My first summit was the second one that they ever did. The first one they had what did they have? They had 20 people there.
15 people.
Yeah, it was a tiny little. So I think my first one was the one after that, and so since then, I've always participated in charity. Oh, always is such a big word. I've only been alive for so amount of time. Since I was, I think, I'm probably a late teenager. I've always done something with it. But I'd never done anything where I'm a driving factor in that. Never gone out of my way to be a fundraiser myself, just committing my funds and some time and energy to things. After going to the summit 4 years ago, whenever it was, it totally changed everything. And so I've been doing that every year since then.
Awesome. Yeah. For me, this is my 5th year doing it. I started doing the fundraising for St. Jude the first year I started streaming, actually, which I think is actually the first year that they started doing it. Basically, the community that I was part of was raising some money, and I was just about to start streaming, so I was like, whatever, let's do this.
Yeah, sure, let's go.
And so this is my 5th year doing it now, and I think going to the summit, I've been to at this point, I think 3 or 4 of them, and it's been such an experience to be a part of it. I can't wait to hear your guys' stories going to the summit, because I think it's so important for other streamers that want to get into it, and also the viewers to hear our stories, to really understand what St. Jude is all about and why we're doing this show, because they're such a special organization.
And also, like, how to join in and how and why to join in yourself at any level as a broadcaster. Like, one of the things I think all of us are really going to want to drive home throughout this is every single person, even if you literally have 0 to 1 viewers, can directly contribute and act in a way that breathes the good into the world that the charity stuff is. And as a platform, participating in that as a platform as a whole is amazing and magical. That's what we want to drive home.
Yeah, for sure. So I know, Glam, this was like your first time attending the St. Jude Summit, right?
Yeah.
Like, what was that experience like for you?
It was absolutely unreal. I'm relatively new to the platform as a whole, as I was telling you guys before the show. But it was the event was everything I really, really wanted it to be. It's easy to get concerns that, you know, you're going to be experiencing other people, you know, bragging maybe or dropping numbers and saying things like that. But it was hands down the absolute opposite of that, which is exactly what I wanted. Everybody was so supportive and nurturing of each other, and there's kind of almost like a sense of awe when you sit in like a big room and look around and see there's like 200-ish other people that all like are sharing your same goal, your same passion, have cried tears for the same reasons, you know. It was amazing. I hope I get an opportunity to go again.
Yeah.
And I want to point out too that those anxieties seem to be shared by a ton of people. Like when you haven't gone yet, you're like, oh, what's it gonna be like? And am I gonna be the little guy among all the, you know, big? And then all the social anxieties that happen within? So far, talking to everybody who's mentioned that to me directly, either privately or publicly, has been like, it was completely different. I don't know why I thought that. It's been this entirely other, like, utterly magical experience, every single one without exception. So it seems like those are very common anxieties, and probably about streaming in general, but also for charity, for fundraising stuff. It's like, well, what if I don't raise as much as this other person or as these other people around me? Am I going to be, you know, judged and such? I want to talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, and I think like going to the summit and meeting everyone else that's got like this, you know, passionate cause that they're behind. Everyone there is super genuine, and they're there for only the purest of reasons, right? So it's honestly, there was 300 people there. It was almost like a mini convention, but it also wasn't. It was kind of like a summer camp or something where you see all your friends and you're doing fun stuff, and there's a lot of emotion behind it. But it's really just the streamer summer camp. It is so many powerful connections that you make with the people that work there, and fellow streamers and industry people as well.
I think that's an excellent comparison. Much better than convention for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, I feel like it's because you're like you guys are saying, you're there not just like, you know, if you go to conventions, you're there to network, especially if you go to PAX or any E3 or anything like that. You're there to like, hey, I got to make these connections. Versus there, you're solely there to learn, understand, and be there for a good cause, and to hopefully you get that information to make the world a better place, like little 50-cent dollar 50 bits at a time kind of thing.
Yeah, and uniquely to this one, as opposed to conventions or a meetup or anything else, unique to this one, you have that shared vision for the world. You're all congregating around one bigger than you and bigger than us together idea and working toward that. And there's something about that is super magical and very different from doing something like a proper convention where you're all sort of there oriented around the same thing, sure, but it's not that doing good thing. It's not that can we band together to make the world better and to have an impact on, in this case, kids, like very real world, real life stuff that's out there happening, as opposed to, you know, how can I get a connection with a developer or talk to this bigger broadcast or whatever. That stuff is totally out the window because of that shared, deeper sense of community. It's magic, straight up.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's amazing. I came back so motivated, so excited, so never feeling I've never felt more like what we're doing here on this platform is worth it
Yes.
than after attending this
Yeah.
event. And it's so exciting. So exciting.
Now,
so happy to be a part of it.
did you guys get to like check out the facility at all? Like what I think one of the toughest things to get across is how magical St. Jude is, because you see the trailers and like you see the like info sheets and you look at the website and it just doesn't even compare. Can you guys describe your experience being on campus and what it's like?
Go for it, Banzai, unless you want me to.
All right, I could go ahead and go first. Well, I mean, it's not like a normal like it. I know this has been repeated by a lot of other streamers to say that it isn't like a normal hospital. And that's very, very true. Like they have brightly colored rooms. They have rooms that kind of look magical. They have like staircases with the, what is it called? Keyboards and everything like that. It's all like, because usually when you go to a hospital, it's very sterile. You can even, you just feel like those lights that they use. Harsh lighting, everything like that. And there's no real decoration on these. It's just all like white walls and like bland floor tiles. But when you go into this, you see like the flags hanging up, statues, and it's all has a lot of open windows, and there's just colors everywhere and poetry, and it just looks like a fun area to be. It looks more like a very fun school than a hospital, I guess I would
yeah,
say.
Sure.
Yeah.
When you guys have seen like in movies and stuff and trailers when somebody's walking through a building and their camera's sort of panning and then and they haven't stepped out of the door, but it sort of converts into a cityscape or a forest, like they're in this big open space and it's like they've transitioned into some other time and place. I sort of feel like the St. Jude actual hospital is like that. You're walking through there, it doesn't feel like corridors and hospital rooms. It feels like an alive place. Mm-hmm. It feels like it's an environment, an ecosystem. It feels like it's got all this cool stuff going on that's not just this static, or not even close to anything that you would experience anywhere else. It really is like that weird kind of. Glam, did you share any experience like that?
No, I mean, I totally agree. They were pointing out little like nuanced things they do. Like all the desks and tables are lower so that, they're more accessible to the kids. There's games everywhere. The inclusivity of like language. They have the blue phones that, you can put in your country code and then they'll translate to whoever's on the other side.
Yeah.
Just everything is like so thoughtful, it's just like so thoughtful. And purposeful. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it's a beautiful
That's cool. Facility. I didn't know about that little thing. And that's the thing, right? It's like, I think all of y'all can share the same thing. It's like there are 1,000 of those little touches. That's like this little thing here, this little thing, but it's all of these little things and big things that they've done.
Yeah,
and it never stops because of the work that people do.
I mean, it creates this experience that for the kids going through something so horrible and traumatizing, the kids go there and they're like excited to be there. They have like music lessons and they have the nurses, they make friends with them and they throw parties and proms and graduations. These kids get to experience as close to a normal childhood as they possibly can while undergoing sometimes super invasive treatments and situations. And to be able for St. Jude to provide that type of childhood to those kids is more than I think anyone could even dream of. They're doing it every single day at that hospital and around the world too.
I know for some people it will resonate. For other people, this language doesn't necessarily, but they don't have to be defined by cancer. They don't have to be defined by the disability, the illness. They get to go like, oh, yeah. I mean, I know that's a thing and I'm going to have my treatment, but what's this cool stuff we're doing right here? Like, what's that about? Just getting in and having play and experiencing the world as a kid should.
Yeah, they're defined by being kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're defined by being kids and not being sick.
Yeah.
That's so cool. It's so, and it's I'm not gonna get emotional.
Oh, it's okay. This is like one thing
I've
to
had enough crying this week.
yeah, you have to just be prepared, like, to cry and to have those like
Absolutely.
moments where you just go, my heart. That's why I like how if you do wear makeup, they just do it on the top of their lids and not the bottom, because you have to be prepared to cry and weep.
Yep.
Like, you know, and like also you don't want to also show that like it's a great thing at the same time, but at this you want to kind of put a strong face, because sometimes you see like the kids going around in their little wagons and you just go, my heart, and then you have to go,
Oh, the wagons. Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me this year, this was like the most emotional experience, because
Really?
they really put an emphasis on telling stories of fellow casters and people that are peers. And you know, that got me several times really hard. You know, it's just it's one thing to see these kids, and trust me, I cried during all those videos that they showed of the stories of the kids, but then it's like when it's your peers and you don't expect it, and it's just people you admire so much, to see them be so affected by cancer and how St. Jude has impacted their lives. It was super powerful and humbling, really, to just realize like I'm so grateful to be here and to be in a position that we all are in, sitting right here, to be able to tell our viewers our experiences and to raise money for this cause.
No, for sure. It definitely added to that familial kind of camp vibe in a very, very, very awesome way.
Yeah. And to extra drive the point home a little bit, or to at least mention it from my eyes, that sense of camaraderie that happens when your peers are sharing their stuff, you're like, you also get a sense of where, you know, it just keeps expanding outward. There's even more reason to do it continuously over and over again. It's like, I'm growing alongside you. I'm fighting this battle with you too, and with the kids and with the doctors and the researchers, and just continually expanding out that sense of community and camaraderie. And it's like, yeah, it's not just we can do it. It's like we are currently doing it, and you can see the impact, and it's us together.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not alone, especially for those who shared their personal stories. Now
Exactly.
they know that they're not alone. This is an epidemic that affects so many people around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm caught up in it.
I know. Another
Dude,
like
it's so easy to get caught up.
I know.
Emotions.
Yeah.
Another really cool aspect is the research side of things, because it's not, St. Jude is not just taking these kids and treating them. They're actively working to improve these treatments and find cures. And they've done so much to improve survival rates for kids with various types of cancers and other rare illnesses. You know, one thing that you'll see on the tour, or what I got to do this year, was see like where they make the vaccines, and
That's right.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
That was cool.
It was really, really cool to see that side of things, and to realize like St. Jude has done a tremendous amount to actually make progress towards treatments and cures for cancer. Like, and that research gets put out for anyone to use publicly and freely. So it's not
Open
just
source.
right. So it's not just about treating the kids that come in, but it's about changing the future and making cancer a thing of the past. And St. Jude's is leading the way in that, which is super cool.
To that point, the thing that always struck me the hardest, once I actually figured it out, is that they're trying to work themselves out of a job.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know anybody else who's doing that in the world, who's trying to work themselves out of a job. They want to destroy cancer, and if they do, they won't be employed at destroying cancer anymore, right? That's part of the whole point.
Yeah.
Think about that. That is, oh God,
Amazing.
it gets me every time.
Yeah, the whole like we would want to see this place to become a museum. That's what they want.
Yeah,
they want to be
yes.
a museum. Ugh.
Yeah.
I bet they could find another epidemic to work on.
I'm sure there's something else. Yes.
And they will, and they do,
Yeah.
right? Because it's not just about cancer.
It's not
they
just about
focus
cancer,
on
yeah.
what someone is saying in chat about the bubble boy disease.
Yeah,
And sickle cell anemia previously was another one that they started tackling too.
Yeah.
Because of the research. The research is massive.
Well, because like what they were saying when we went to visit the GMP, it's not really the cancer that kills a lot of these kids. It's the diseases that come because their immune system is so low.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to see the process of them making vaccines and everything, and just a lot of the science went above my head. But I was like, science is being done here. I mean, you guys might be able to explain. I don't really have a very strong background in this, so I was like, yes, science is being done.
I love hearing about that because when people were saying it, I just kind of pictured like a lab scene in Jurassic Park with
the machines.
pulling out the vials and things,
Doing the science.
Look at all the science being done.
And I know Banzai wanted to talk about this. One of the things that they talked about with us, which was really cool, is an announcement they made a few months ago, pairing up with the World Health Organization. Banzai, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, so basically over the past few years that they've been doing it, they've been starting an initiative to not just help kids in the United States. They're trying to make it a global initiative to bring healthcare to those kids who otherwise wouldn't get diagnosed. I say 177,000 kids around the world don't even get diagnosed with what they actually have. And so they're just left. They're like what they, I guess the word would be the abandoned children that just fall through the cracks. And this being from somebody who comes from parents who are my grandparents, they weren't born in the United States. They earned their citizenship here. And just, having that opportunity to help all of these people that in other circumstances wouldn't have kids that survive. For example, one of my grandpas, 1 out of 18, but only half of them survived their childhood because of various different diseases and stuff. And so this means a lot to me. It's taking back all that lost potential, all those lost lives around the world for somebody to become the next Mandela, to help the world become more Star Trek. I want to live in Star Trek.
100%. I could not agree more. I was surprised by how low that number was that they said I can say that number, right? The number they said they needed to launch that global thing. It was 15 million.
Yeah.
It was 15 million. And I was like, that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
We're going to cure cancer worldwide on $15 million? What is going on?
Yeah. It's crazy low. I would be at least a couple billion, please.
Yeah.
I know.
This is such a small number.
Yeah. And what Banzai was saying, it's a lot of it's not, they just don't have the means, these hospitals around the world, to do it, right? They don't have the education. Right. They don't have a space or the technology or the medicine or even transportation to get to the hospitals in these
that's an interesting
developing countries.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of infrastructure stuff just by
it's
itself.
The logistics. Yeah.
Yeah. Just being able to take your kid to a hospital is something that a lot of us take for granted,
Yeah.
And I feel if people are just if you could just, a lot of people even give away their children for a better life to know that, hey, at least they can see a doctor. They can, they might not be with me, but I know that they have a chance to survive because of this. And just keeping that together, that, you don't have to see that's what I mean. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. It's just, it's just it's a lot of people don't get that. A lot of people don't have that opportunity. And I can see it with various distant family members, they have to travel and stay with us in some kind of way because they don't have hospitals are not that good in certain areas. So I have family members coming over from the Philippines and stuff like that to get treatment here in the United States. So we have them claim our residency kind of thing. Yeah. So it's just emotional because
it is. And one thing I see when I do a lot of charity streams, I'd like there's so many causes I want to help.
I
And
know, God.
one of the things that you see is like I have a lot of European viewers, and they're, you know, sometimes you'll say like, oh, you know, I want to support this, but I want to support like, you know, I want to find like a non-US based charity, a non-US only charity. And the thing about St. Jude is it is an international effort. The kids come from all over the world. The doctors come from all over the world. And pairing with the World Health Organization,
all over the world.
yeah,
And the research goes back out all over the world. Yeah,
and pairing with the World Health Organization now, like they're going to help hospitals all over the world to be able to accept kids and not have to turn them away, and give these kids a fighting chance instead of just saying we can't help you and the kids just go home to die.
yeah,
Yeah.
And this is survival rates for some of these things are as high as 94%.
Yeah,
And these kids,
those are the numbers that were crazy.
then that's
90,
only
like, in
here
the
though.
90s.
But like around
Yeah.
the world, it's so much lower than that because they just don't have the means. That's insane.
yeah.
Yeah, I think their ultimate initiative by 2030 curing 60% around the world of the 6 most common childhood cancers.
And right now
60%.
it's 20%.
20%. So they're going to raise it up by quite a bit percentage wise.
That's pretty big.
Yep, by 2030
Huge.
that's their goal.
That's a relatively short time frame too. Well, then again, looking
it's
at
like
the
10,
stuff that
11
they've
years,
done, taking like the top cancer for kids and scaling that one up to like, what's the survival rate? It was like 93% or something.
I think it was higher
90.5%.
than that. I thought it was at like 95, 96, but yeah.
It probably
Right,
is
you
now
have to-
because that was the last time I went to the summit, which was last year.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy
It
because
keeps
they have
going up and up incrementally.
they have that circular room that you go in. It's like a little bit of a museum before you get to the hospital, and that has like the timelines of everything on the walls. And I remember thinking about just that exact point you were making, like the timeline starts in, you know, the 1960s and the numbers, but it's very aggressive. It's like
aggressive.
holy crap, you've made so much change in such a short amount of time. This is insane.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, so I mean that I like that terminology of aggressive. They're not sitting idly by just trying to treat stuff that's happening. They're going out there. They're on the front lines of combating it.
Stuff's getting
They're
done
in that fight. It's so
I don't
interesting.
know why I thought about like a whole bunch of like healing players all playing the same match, like Mercies.
They're all
You'll be
healers.
healed.
It's like all support classes.
It's all support classes.
They're all getting
going,
yeah.
going around the world saying you'll be healed.
That's awesome.
I don't know.
That is awesome.
That's a really good imagery and idea. So I'm gonna write that
It
down.
is. I was about to
Hold
say,
on.
why aren't we
We're
using
gonna work
this for
with
some
this.
marketing fundraising?
Also,
We need to get some
like, have a
devs
bunch
involved.
Of, support class cosplayers all go in.
Dang, heck yeah, I'm about this life.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
okay. So some of the more practical questions that I think for relating to a lot of the people who want to fundraise, not sure what's going on with it, not sure how to get involved. And I don't really like that terminology to get involved because people have been using that for like 70 years in marketing, right? But it is real. Like we're trying to do the thing.
To be a part of this movement?
Thank you. I like that. Yes.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I don't know how to mute this. My bad.
I don't
That was
hear
a good-
anything.
okay.
Oh, you don't
Yeah,
hear
no,
the boop 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 boop? Okay,
No.
never mind. You
Nope.
don't.
No, we're good to go.
Nope. Okay.
So for a split second, I want to hear what you guys have to say. And I think Bonzo, we probably already got this one from you. It was a really, really good one. What motivates you toward charity? And I'm interested if there's a way that can sort of be communicated where you would affect me to want to do it. What do you think is a shared sort of motivation? What do you think pushes people in the direction of wanting to take their sensitive time and put it toward breathing goodness into the world?
Like from a contributor side or from a like
Yeah, like us
streamer
as streamers.
side?
So like any of the streamers out
As a
there from
streamer.
0 viewers to, the 5 million.
I know for me it's absolutely mind-blowing to think about where I am now from when I first started streaming. I just started in January of 2018. I'm sorry if I brought that up again, but
That's important.
it's crazy for me to
information.
think that before that I was playing video games, and now putting in all the work to create content and, forge communities and friendships and, do all this cool stuff that we do on Twitch. I'm now still playing video games, but also helping save the world while I'm doing it. And
Yes.
it's such a wild thing to think about, you know, the amount of change that can be made just from that tiny little decision, and how much it can change you as a person.
Yes.
It's a big sense of pride for me right now, for sure. I think it
Good.
should be for all of us.
I mean,
And I think, yeah, go on.
oh no, I was gonna say you could like join. Like for me, I first started because I've always just done charity. My mom kind of drilled that into me, like it must help the world. But also other than that, you can kind of have a little selfish reasons. I mean, like yes, you're doing good, but also like one of my things last year about raising a lot of money, it's shameful. But I needed a new chair.
I don't think that's shameful at all. Yeah, that's great.
I need a new chair, but I still wanted to do something for a good cause. But yes, sometimes it's all right to admit you have a little selfish reasons. One, also to punch cancer in the face. But also you get some pretty sweet stuff. You know what? You can give back to your community.
Yeah, and I think that's okay, because at the end of the day, you're still making a difference. That money's still going to a good cause. And this is something I talk about when I'm coming up with incentives and stuff. And I think incentives are super helpful. Like we each have our own incentives for our own fundraisers. Why shouldn't St. Jude have their like incentives for their program in general? Like I think that yes, people do want to help, but there are people that are more motivated to help even more if they have stuff that they can get out of it. Like in my channel, it's like banning people. They love to ban people. So
they so do.
They just love to ban other people. I ban each other. And it's like, all right, whatever. Like if they want a t-shirt and they would not have donated otherwise, well, hey, I've still got I got their money, right? And they get something out of it. And I think that's okay. Yep. Like
I think it's
totally
even better.
Okay.
I think yeah, exactly. I think more than okay. I think it's better. I think it's great to look at the multifaceted ways in which something affects the world. And sometimes that's me getting a sick hoodie. You know, sometimes that's, right? Like, and I love that. Like every year I get the hoodie and it's got the stuff on the side. And it's an official Twitch hoodie. And I love having that. And I love being able to like, can we see the text and stuff on the chair?
Oh yeah, hold on.
I love there it is at the yes. That looked like a lot of hard work to get that done. I can see it. I'm not sure Jack can.
It's behind your name.
I don't know. Hold on. I can get up.
Oh, there it is. Woo! We actually see it right there. That's one. It's great to be able to rep the charity work that you're doing. I think that's even better. So getting cool stuff that also allows you to continue to have a positive effect out in the world, reminding people that St. Jude is a thing. And sometimes people going like, "Hey, what's that? What you stream on the Twitch thing? What's that about?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, and this I do a lot of money. We raise a lot of stuff, and then you can dive into that when you've got the facts. And it's like, oh, that's cool. You're doing cool stuff. That's cool. You know what? I do want to kind of check that. Right? It continues to breathe that out there, and it's all tied in together. Where it's like I'm getting cool stuff. We're doing stuff for the kids. That person gets to identify and recognize that Twitch is more than just video games and can do good.
Yeah, I mean, and also I wonder how many people went into raising money for St. Jude for the prizes and now are just like wholeheartedly committed.
Yeah, like,
and also like killed it, right? Like raised more than they needed and now just do it every year, right? Like, so if that gets people in the door, like, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I told my community I'm keeping up to the backpack, but the headphones and the chair we're gonna throw right back.
You're gonna
the backpack is really nice though.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, going for the chair, but it's not gonna be. I'm gonna definitely use it as like a donation incentive because I think they said also we could just tell them we want to change the address, right?
That's what I do. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
A Green's in the chat right now. He's got the chair from last year's. Yeah. He won it in the chat. We did it. It opened up a giveaway when we hit that target, and it was like,
hell
okay,
yeah.
Get in. It was cool, and people were about it. They were like, hell yeah, DX Racer, let's go.
Yeah,
it's a very comfy chair. But, also, another thing that if we're talking incentive wise, are we talking about incentive wise of why we want to do things?
Yeah.
Honestly, I love chat, but chat loves streamer misery.
Oh yeah.
That's a big motivator.
Oh yeah.
Such a big motivator.
It really is.
Yep.
Yep.
There's a whole lot of
I'm
yep.
crying inside.
Pretty much
the things that we do for charity, and it's an interesting thing too. Is just to be clear on this, that version of misery is also really fun for us.
Oh yeah, it is. It's
because
pretty
it's
fun.
all in good humor. And I'm eating the hot stuff, and I'm like, tomorrow's gonna be miserable. My butt is gonna be so unhappy. But today, it's like, let's push it. Let's go. Let's hit it. Let's do as much of this as we can. This is great.
I've done boxes and boxes of these stupid Bean Boozled jelly beans.
No.
And they're just on my desk all the time because I just keep adding them as incentives. I don't think I'm going to this year. I think I need a break.
Yeah,
I'll do some other torturous things.
I get into trouble because I think of things that are too gross. Like I'm always like cockroach milkshake. You know, like
jeez.
you know, and I don't know how to do the middle. I need to learn how to scale it back.
So great question. How do you identify interesting, maybe innovative for you, or stuff that's really unique for your brand or your community? How do you try and pinpoint that stuff? Because it's really easy. A lot of us go like, we want to do, every single person in here, we probably can show our list of incentives and have like at least a quarter of those that are identical across like all of our lists, where it's like, yep, we always do that stuff, like all streamers do. But how do you find like that one thing that's really, not that you have to have it even, but if you want to shoot in that direction, how do you find the 1, 2, 10 things that are unique to your stream, your brand, your identity? For me, it's always weakness. Bananas. I hate bananas. Boom. Easy. Loco doesn't have to hate bananas for it to be a valuable incentive for me.
I wish I hated bananas. It'd be so easy.
But then it wouldn't though.
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
It's not easy. Trust me.
I mean, just oh wait, Glam does hate bananas. Definitely don't make him.
Ooh, bananas suck. Least favorite thing in the world.
F bananas.
No, I think mine is mostly fear motivated too, because I'm kind of like those people. I won't let the fear control me. So like I've eaten tarantulas and a whole mix of bugs. Yeah. I also have like braved skydiving. Yeah, I did skydiving, and I was terrified, and at least, hey, I did it, and so I know, hey, okay, that wasn't that bad, but would I do it again? Probably not, but at least I have that. I conquered my fear of heights.
You're a way better person than I am.
Wow, yeah.
I don't think I can do that. I would probably pass out in the plane.
It's not that bad. You don't feel the rest of the fall. You just feel the first off the plane. And also it helps if the person you're attached to is twice your size. Because I was like, I changed my mind. Never mind.
And they're like,
don't have a choice.
You can't stop that. Yeah.
God.
You can't stop.
Man. I'm with you on the heights, Loco. I have a weird thing where like naturals and like, you know, cliff sides, fine. Mountain climbing, great. But like high floors of a building, nope. You know, like I don't know. I don't trust like man-made things.
I'm getting anxiety just thinking about this conversation.
Okay. So outside of the stuff that's actually gonna like drive you insane, how do you try and identify this in the way that's gonna really uniquely, because I think that's an important one, is what's gonna uniquely invigorate your community, the people who know, love, and respect you and appreciate you and want to connect with the stuff that you're doing, more than like if I'm doing Bean Boozled and Loco's doing Bean Boozled, why, you know, and you're in both of our streams at different times of the day, why contribute for that over there? Why contribute for that over here when there's a lot of similarity?
That's like, definitely my biggest challenge, is the incentive brainstorming.
It's a tough one. It is really surprisingly challenging.
So chat loves power and they love control. And
oh god, we're getting to the deep stuff now.
Day to day, you know, you don't give chat a lot of power control over your stream because it would be very disruptive and chaotic and a nightmare. To be honest, chat, it would be an actual nightmare. So the charity stuff is a great way to, you know, make people mods or let people ban each other, let them choose the game. You know, let them spin a wheel for a prize or to have something happen to you or the stream. Vote on things, you know, like Tiltify is the platform for the charity streams, and they have a polling system where they can vote. They can put their money towards different things.
Yes. I highly recommend.
Oh, I don't even think I knew about that.
It's really, really cool.
It's great. You can vote on GIF or GIF. You can vote on pineapple or no pineapple on pizza, right? So you can have like some basic starter, like meme level
things.
But also, what's going to go into this smoothie I have to make? You can choose.
That's what we did. Yeah.
You can also choose a pizza slice. You can also choose a habanero pepper. It's like, and having people donate to sort of have like this donation war, this combat that's being done for which things are going in. That's a really great way to do it. Randomized stuff is really great. So the spinning the wheel stuff, and also the competing, the competition stuff.
The polling stuff I think is like super underutilized, but it's really powerful. So I definitely recommend setting up just a handful of those that could like influence like an incentive, like what color to dye your hair, or what scary game you're gonna play for an hour at this incentive. And the cool thing with the polls is you can like time them, and they can release later or end early, or whatever you want to do to fine tune your charity stream to make it keep things fresh.
I just found the tab in Tiltify, and I had never looked at it before.
I think that's
it's fun. Yeah.
That's what it's. Go look at it. Oh, also, can we get a link to the Tiltify stuff in general? I think do we have that set up already? Just as a bot command or something? I have no idea.
I think it's
for just St. Jude Play Live in general.
Yeah, somebody put it in chat already.
Playlive.stjude.org.
I think that's the main website that we have to register for.
So for the people listening on the podcast, it's playlive.stjude.org.
Oh yeah, podcast, not the podcast. Also, if you're trying to look for incentives, honestly, just reach out to your own community.
Community.
Like, they
100%.
all have ideas of what they want to see you do. And and I say that while looking away from chat and just flashbacks in my head of, oh God. Like half the stuff I did, I probably wouldn't just think of it by myself. It's all stuff, all devious. Chat is human. Humans devise devious things for their streamers.
So true. I mean, you have this whole network of people who collectively we are that network, that whole thing that could come up with all kinds of crazy stuff, and most of them are going to be miserable and terrible. But some of those really dumb ideas can give birth to the best ones that you end up utilizing. Oh yeah, like, no, that's terrible. How would you? Oh, but what if we? Right, and then it's so doing like a crowdsourcing kind of a thing is really valuable. Nobody knows your community better than literally your community.
Yeah, your community. Yeah. And also, like honestly, a lot of the stuff that people haven't done online is old charity things that people have been doing for a long time. Like for example, last year we had the car smash, which is a very useful things in like various different colleges and stuff. And I was like, has anybody streamed a car smash before? And they're like, no. And so that's what we did. And this year we're going to be doing more smashing things because my channel is loud. And what do we like to do? Destroy.
So tell us a little bit about this, because I definitely wanted to talk about it. It's super unique, and I want to see more like creative stuff like this.
So basically last year we did a car smash, which is basically we had an old jalunky car that we kind of did we gave it away on stream. It happened to be one of my friends that won it, and then it's not a working car. It rolls. It was a car that rolls, and it was more to repair it than it is to actually fix it. So what we ended up doing was like, hey, we could do this for charity. And we ended up raising like over $11,000 to smash the car. And as an extra bonus, we found a place that will take the car in any condition and give us that to charity as well for Make-A-Wish. So it helps on both ends. For this year, we're doing what's called a rage room, or we're going to also call it a trash and smash, or smashing for cancer. So we're going to be creating a whole room full of junk that is going to be donated by my local junk place. And we're going to be breaking it down for them. I got chainsaws, sledgehammers, and I'm going to be inviting a bunch of fellow streamers like, hey, Hunter, if you want to drive 3 hours, come smash things.
That would be awesome.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's going to be a lot of stuff, and we will have the safety equipment and everything ready. It's just breaking things for breaking's sake,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to watch that? That seems awesome.
Or do that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm on hiatus right now. I'm not going to be streaming on my own channel, but I'm still going to be fundraising. So yes, please, I would love to do that.
But yeah, it's going to be fun. And then it also helps, like, if you have some of those incentives, do something that's for like tweets or retweets. Be like, hey, I'm doing a charity stream. Let's retweet this and if I get 100 retweets or retweets
Yes.
on this, it will unlock us to do something. So
Yes.
having
That's
that,
cool,
like,
too.
you don't only have to go through Twitch, you go through other channels, YouTube,
Yeah.
podcasts, all that.
I like
kind
that
of
a
stuff.
lot.
Awareness.
These are great suggestions, Banzai.
They are, I know.
Yeah, because I mean, the thing is, not everyone can donate. So incentivizing
Right.
word of
Mhm.
mouth is super powerful because
Super
word of mouth is
powerful, yeah.
free. And
Yes,
it
it
helps so
is.
much.
I've literally had it where somebody told somebody else, and the original person had donated like $5 or $8 or something, told somebody else, and that other person came in and donated $200 something, and they'd never seen my stream before, but they were like, "Oh, that's sick! Yeah, I'd love to do that." And I have money, I have the ability, the opportunity to do that. You can cause extra money to flow into St. Jude because you mentioned it, because you talked about it, because you had a little bit of information. You were like, hey, this stuff is happening and I don't really know much about it. Go and ask them. We'll field that stuff. We're semi-professional at it, and we have the details and we can talk about it. We want to talk about it. Just get them in there in any way that's possible. And you
Yeah,
can do so
just-
much more than adding an extra $10 onto your donation when you get that other dude in there getting 200, 300, right?
Right.
Get it out there. You don't know who it's going to impact and who it's going to affect and what that real cause or effect can be in the world.
For
Yeah,
sure.
just small waves.
Yes.
And also just like being there watching and talking at the same time, getting people hyped is a big thing. Like for people, like I know some people have like, oh, I can't afford this because I'm either in school or I have like, I have kids to feed kind of thing. I'm like, you don't have to donate. You can just
Yeah.
talk about it with your friends, family, share it on Facebook.
It's
Right.
so
Help it.
valuable.
Right.
It is. But yeah, nah.
I'm trying to think of what else that like hasn't been mentioned yet. Like cool like games and stuff. Like either chat picks the game or playing games with the chat, incentivizing that. Scary games are always great
What
if
you have
you
to do
hate
in
them.
the game. In the game.
That's
So
true,
I did
that's-
Dark Souls with that. Literally play with a
Oh.
blindfold. Hold the controller upside
Oh,
over,
yeah.
over my head, invert the controls, use
Yeah.
OBS instead of my monitor, jogging in place while trying to do stuff. And in a game that's as like sensitive to your inputs as Dark Souls is, and you could just any number of things. And chat's causing again, Loco, power,
That control.
Yeah.
right back into it, and you can have all these things sort of stack in at once, and that could just be like one fundraising day, and you come up with a bunch of things that you just think about. All the things you don't want to do, write those down. There you go. There's your incentive. What would I want to do the least in Dark Souls? Is like, yes, I would really hate to invert the controls and hold it
Soul
over my
level
head.
1 run.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, what can you do?
Be in the starting
that
area
does give them
forever.
control. Interesting.
Yeah, chat like they just want control and making things either fun or harder, or like even you could for example have them dress up a certain dress up streams, unlock certain things like that. Or another way to view it is treat it like you're unlocking new skins or new levels for a video game. Is the best way.
Mhm.
Also dress up, cosplay, all that kind of things.
Ooh, even bit. Okay, now I'm getting into. Listen, I've been brainstorming like crazy this last week. Now I'm getting into what you could have an interesting system too, where if you're doing like say 3 streams that are charity streams throughout, each one builds up to the next. Unlock things that then have to show up in the next one, or that you have to do during the next one, like cosplay a thing or whatever. You can have that sort of be sequential, and in turn drive people toward the next one. It's like, oh, you're gonna want to see this because we're gonna be doing now this next level stuff when we get into. Yeah, I like that unlocking that leveling up stuff.
No. There's some people that I've heard that done temporary tattoos. So people can do temporary tattoos, because you don't want to go to the extreme. If you want to do tattoos for charity, that's cool. That might be on the more extreme
I get
end
them
for
all over
people.
my face, the temporary ones.
Yeah.
The temporary tattoo ones.
Well, this whole beard
Or
is
the
a tattoo,
googly
but
eyes
other than
even.
that-
Oh, the googly
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah,
Oh, I've seen
exactly.
that.
Mhm.
Another
And
thing.
then plus it. Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
No, like doing something that is very obviously different onto your stream.
Yeah.
Just that click on the thumbnail would make people go, "What?"
Oh man.
True.
What is
Looking like a
yeah,
goofball.
Yeah. I mean,
Goofball.
my stream is very metal oriented, so opening up song requests is absolutely terrifying to me.
Oh,
Oh no!
Well, it sounds like you just came up with a really good incentive then.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, Lady Baby. That's what you should do. Dress up as Lady Baby or whatever.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah,
Japanese. Yeah.
Baby metal. Or do
Baby
you mean
metal.
Lady Beard.
Ladybeard, that's who I'm talking about.
Lady Baby
Ladybeard.
metal.
It's it's a whole different branch of metal.
Yeah, it is.
Ah!
There's a band called Baby Metal.
Yeah.
I do like them. I enjoy them.
But the Ladybeard thing is a very good idea.
So
There you go.
So there was one other thing that I was thinking about that we talked about in our pre-stream stuff that I think is really important to discuss, at least briefly, because I think it affects every single person who goes out to raise money as a streamer. What happens if you don't hit your goal? How do we establish a goal that's a good goal? Does it actually matter if you don't hit it? Like if I go out there and I'm like, yeah, $80,000. I mean, of course it's possible, but what happens if I raise 8,000 instead? What if you set your goal at 500 and you raise 50? How do we think about this? How much does it matter? And I've got my own response, but I want to hear what you guys think about that for the conceptualization of it for everybody.
I think it's more fun when you're involved in it rather than constantly trying to reach something to rather repeatedly smash a goal over and over and over and over again. I think it's just kind of like inherently more fun to set not necessarily something that's easy, but a little bit more within reach rather than setting something a little bit more outlandish and, constantly being like, well, we destroyed that. Here we go. What's next? And just kind of going on in that manner.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to, one of the things that I saw repeatedly said at the St. Jude Summit was, I plan to raise this much, and I raised like this much and just blew it out of the water. I didn't know what to do. So at the same time of like the goals should be something like just lighthearted and fun. Like, I mean, if you don't raise your goal, it's not, you're still raising money, right? Like it goes back to every dollar making a difference. And at the same time, it's like, plan also in case you do smash that goal, because you could be really surprised and, having a couple of extra goals above what you planned, be like, okay, well, I did expect to hit this, but here we go. Let's keep going kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if I'm sorry.
No, go.
I talk too much. I need you get it out there.
I talk a lot. I talk a lot too. I just start talking to my. Go ahead.
Okay, fine. If you insist. Thank you. If I think setting an achievable, reasonable goal is far better than setting the super lofty one, while completely in agreement with be prepared with a lofty one on the backside, even if you don't mention it. I mean, you're welcome to if it's like, I'm gonna shave off my beard, which I never would want to do. It would seriously be like the 100K kind of a thing, where it's like, we're never gonna hit that, so I don't have to worry. But if we do, that is enough to do it. Have both, or a whole slew of them. One thing that you can't do, that you shouldn't do, is have a lofty goal that you then backtrack on, because you're not going to hit it. You're seeing that your fear, your anxiety is happening. You're like, oh, we're going to raise $1,000, and then toward the end of the month, you're at 70, and then you have to you're going to go like, okay, well, if we raise 100, that doesn't sit well with anybody who's interested in supporting. So you got to play with that psychology a little bit. If you have a $100 goal and then you smash it, wonderful. Celebrate that. People love celebrating. So do you, and it feels good. And then you're like, okay, well, no, that's what happens if we get to 200. Smashed it. Great. Right. Wonderful. What happens if you can go up with your goals, but you can't really backtrack on them. So I would always personally advise setting something that you know is reasonable and achievable, and being prepared to take it to the next level. What are those higher ones? What would they be? You don't have to publicize it though.
Just have backups, because you shouldn't be also, to a lot of people undersell themselves in many cases, that they're like, oh, okay, I don't think I can get more than $100, and they break that. Always have backup plans, but also every dollar that you'd get, I wouldn't see this as I failed the organization, I failed this. It's still money they otherwise wouldn't have. So I would say, like, for some people, there are some friends of mine that are kind of heartbroken and scared to do it this year because they didn't reach their goal. They didn't reach their stretch goal or anything like that. And I have to sit down and actually talk to them, because I don't want to just bap, 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 and then send something off quickly. But yeah, that's otherwise a dollar that they wouldn't have, and you should just celebrate in the fact that you actually did just raise that much and make it a plan. Hey, maybe next year this is how I'm going to improve to do better.
Yep.
You
For
know?
sure. $3 is
And
a face mask. $10
Yeah.
is a toy. $30 is a meal for a family. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think keeping that perspective is also really important. Is like, so if I were to translate this into really practical terms, how much have I raised? What is that impact and effect? If your goal is 100,000 and you get $100, how is that different from having had a goal of $100 and getting $100?
It's not.
Right? Like it's ego only, and we all have egos. It's important to keep that in mind. I'm gonna feel bad if I don't hit my goal, but in practical terms, if you had your goal set to what you actually hit in the first place, the same amount of money is raised. The same impact in the world is there and present. And I think that's really important to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Failing at your goal is not failing at all. It's conceptual only. There's not a real world practical failure there in any way.
I mean,
and not doing it means 0 is raised.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you're raising money for charity. You're making this choice to help out a cause bigger than yourself. It's not a competition. It shouldn't be about pride or, you know, feeling bad that you're not doing enough, right? You're doing something. You're, even if you're just making the effort to wanting to help, that's more than most people do.
Exactly.
It's totally true.
100% accurate.
So we do have a question that came in from Rainbow that I want to talk about, who asks, how do you go about choosing which cause to support? I want to support them all, but I worry about charity burnouts.
And that is a very valid concern.
I think what would be, choose one that impacts you the most, because ultimately people are going to want to donate for you and for, like, basically if you don't really believe in the cause, why are people going to be motivated to donate to this cause if you're not anything? Like, for example, I know a lot of people don't like the Red Cross in many ways, but I did do a Tape Me to the Wall for Charity Red Cross stream, and the reason why it helped me, like, it's because, like, when my island, we got hit by a horrible typhoon and I was able to get shelter and food. I, like, lived in a tent for 3 months, and the Red Cross really helped my family out there. So they would always, you know, it always is something personal for me. And, like, for example, the reason why I helped St. Jude is because I have many of family members with cancer and have died to cancer. And even myself, I carry an ovarian cancer disease. So when I have kids, I want somebody there to help. So when I have girls, they don't have to be worried about having children and having girls, because there might be a retroactive way to help stop them from having to take out their ovaries and everything like that.
Yep.
No, I totally agree. It goes back to what we were saying earlier about, you know, telling the stories. Obviously, whatever resonates with you, whatever you have personal experience with, you're going to, you know, do a better job with, just because it's so personal to you. St. Jude's was obvious for me. I had a mother who passed from 5-year battle in melanoma. So it's kind of a no-brainer for me to, you know, just be really personal and honest and genuine with people about how much this matters, not only to the world, but to me personally.
Yeah,
I think that personal connection to the cause is vital.
it is. And that's one thing I noticed every time I go to St. Jude, and I'm sure you guys have too, where every single person behind it is super driven, super passionate about what they do. The woman who gave us the tour at the labs, she worked in the labs. She wasn't just like the tour guide. She actually worked in those labs every day. And she, like, you could not stop her from talking because she was so freaking passionate about it. And I loved it. It was the most heartwarming thing ever. So it's not really about what charity is the most popular and what's more prominent. If you want to raise money for a different charity this month, do it. Like, find a charity that you resonate with and look into that charity a little bit more. Like, go into their website, look at where that money goes, inform yourself so that you can inform your viewers. I mean, like, I've raised money for charities. I'm not an expert on them, but I'll take some time to look into them before I'm like representing them and raising money for them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's good
Mhm.
websites for that too, like Charity Watch and
Yes,
Charity watching
exactly.
and stuff. There's lots of sources that you can double check on where the money's going, kind of
Objective
thing.
ratings for how certain things are done with them. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of selecting I think I wish to echo all of these qualities and sentiments. The one that makes you the most emotional, and I think we have to get past the idea that we have to perform some kind of altruistic calculus and know which charity is going to have the biggest impact in the world. No, 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 no. Which one is going to have the biggest impact to you? Because then you get fired up and you are going to
Yeah.
be pounding it out and you are going to want to go next level with it and you are going to be driven and you're going to be talking about it in a way that people are like, you know what? Hell yeah, I'm going to get on board with this. Yeah, here's my $7 that I can afford, this month. Here's my $8,000 because I just got money dumped onto me. Doesn't matter what it is. The thing that allows you to connect to other people because you're feeling vulnerable, because you're putting it out there, because you care about it the most. Don't get caught up in the which one does the most for the world. That's less relevant than which thing allows you to have a bigger impact.
There's so
can't
many
fight
different
every battle.
causes. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
So
Yeah.
many different causes. It's so many places that need help. If you want to raise money for rare birds going extinct because you love birds, like do that. Like
Yes.
whatever
Save the bee.
you want.
Yeah, you can't fight every battle, but just maybe fight one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing.
Fight
If you get like charity paralysis, and you're like, I don't know which one to do, so I'm just not going to do it with any of them. You could have picked one. You could have gone with one in that case. Don't find yourself getting locked out and going like, I guess I just won't do anything because I don't know which one to pick. Just get in there. Just dive into it.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
There's yes.
Starting with
There's just a
yourself
lot.
is the core part of that for sure.
I completely agree. Thank you for translating that because I wasn't going to.
Yeah.
I don't think I was going to be able to get to a core point on that. But yes, that's exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
Start with you. You have control over your intensity, your level of impact to the things that are valuable to you. You know your values. And then let
You know
yourself
your
share those.
experiences, which have value. So
Yes.
And you can even
100%.
choose something that's
Yeah.
local too, that you can actually see, like,
Oh, totally.
bam. Yeah.
Think about how cool that would be to show that to your chat. You're like, hey, this is the place that we raised money for. If you can do it before, you can do it after. You're like, this is what we did, and talk to somebody there or not. Just like sort of showcase it a little bit. There's
Mhm.
all kinds of opportunity,
You could be like, boom, there's no swings. Now there are swings.
and now there are swings.
Now there's swings.
If you guys have any questions, by the way, feel free to post in chat. We do have a few minutes left, so if there's anything about charity, about St. Jude that we haven't covered, keep in mind we're not like official St. Jude spokespeople, so we can't really answer intimate questions about the charity. We can just talk about our experiences on the
But there's a
basis.
website for that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. But if
There's
you
a
guys
bot
have any
now
questions,
too. I'm excited about that bot. I need to get
Ah,
that. thing.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the
I saw
bot.
that in Frank's chat the other day.
Yeah.
It's neat.
Yeah.
How do you
it's
get
super
that
Very
bot?
nice.
I don't know. I need
You have to sign
I
up for
need
the
to
main
ask Zach.
website. Like that main landing page, and then you turn on the extensions. I feel like that should be on a
Okay.
subcategory for their Discord. Be like, how do I set up bot?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that kind of stuff was up there last year, so it'll probably be there here too, where they have a whole Q&A thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they too, for the record, for those of you who've never done it before, they go super out of their way to help you and make sure. There's noob questions are totally welcome. Don't have to be concerned about like, I don't know stuff. I'm gonna be embarrassed to be so dumb. Trust me, I'm the dumb one. Let me fall on that for you. They'll answer your questions because I've already asked a lot of them because I have no idea what I'm doing with most of this stuff. Don't be embarrassed. Don't feel ashamed because you don't have an answer. They want to get answers into your head.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you guys are looking to raise money for St. Jude or any cause, I definitely recommend Tiltify. They
for sure.
are the foundation for the Play Live event, and they make it so easy to integrate alerts and stuff for your stream.
Yes.
Come up with goals, incentives. They help to facilitate and streamline a lot of that stuff, and that way the charity money doesn't touch your PayPal. You don't have to deal with all the taxes that go into that.
Right.
There's low
taxes.
risk and it's a lot easier. So check out Tiltify and sign up.
And
that
in
point,
regards
I
to
think-
Tiltify, there's a lot of public campaigns on there that if you're having trouble
yes.
starting your own campaign, you can just jump on. You don't even have to ask anybody about it. They're just they're listed, and you can just say, "I'm going to start my own little segment of this campaign that's going on," and then
there are a lot of
share
stream
that
teams
link.
that have theirs too, where you're like, oh, I watch all the people from that team, Catalyst, Flagship, whatever, and you're like, I want to join in on that one. They're going to do that sort of work. It's basic stuff, but I don't want to.
It allows you to be part of a community, so you're not like, you don't feel alone, and you can leverage that to work with them and to meet other streamers that are fundraising for the same cause.
It's very accessible.
I do think it's really important to note this, unless I'm mistaken. I don't think that I ever would be on this one. Do everything that you can to formally and officially go through a site like this. Try not to ever do a thing where it's like the subs that I get. I know that some people who do manage to do that are amazing at it, like Casper. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's a genius at all this stuff. He's the guy. But try not to do the thing where it's like any bits and cheer that come in, I'm gonna go ahead and move that over to the charity. You can do that. I think in some technical sense.
Just be careful and think about it, and
it's tough.
Financially plan.
Yeah, there's some really surprising elements to it that you may not be prepared for. Just try to do everything through an official avenue like Tiltify.
Yeah, it's best to do it that way because you don't get charged double, especially if they that's why I make it a big point. Like, hey, I gotta change everything. Just donate to this site because it's gonna you take a huge chunk. Like I have to pay to give back to the money that you gave, and that's less money for me to give to the actual charity.
Yep. And the tax stuff is a big one too, because that's revenue to your business, your self-employment stuff. You have to pay taxes on that, even if you're contributing it to charity, and then you have to do a separate thing with that, and it just gets so challenging.
Yeah. Too much paperwork. Less paperwork, better.
It's really so. Let Tiltify do that for you.
Yeah. Yep. We do have a question from HB Fox, who asks, in regards to raising money for charity in general, how do you elevate the excitement of your community to match your own excitement, especially if it's for a lesser known charity? Storytelling. That's something that was talked about at St. Jude this year. Was storytelling.
That's a good one, Loco.
Man, this is why I cried the most this year at St. Jude, was the storytelling. Why is there a deeper connection to that charity? I'm sure there is, because you're choosing it, right? So talk about your experiences, paint a picture to help viewers understand what you're raising money for, not just a list of facts, but what is your own personal touch to the cause?
Don't be afraid to let your guard down. Show your emotions, be genuine, be you, be affected. Let it touch you and show people that it touches you.
And also a good theme song helps.
Yeah.
To rally behind just the theme song, to just be let's go. All right, guys, we're going to do this. This part's going to be muted in the VOD, but that's okay because we're going to pump each other up. Yeah.
Teaching is another important aspect of it too. Whatever you can do to help your viewers understand what the charity is about and what they do. So not everyone is going to know what exactly Doctors Without Borders is, or what they do, or even the little small things you don't think about that charities do. I think that's super important.
The thing that connects two people together, I think, always ought be the focus for that. And I think that does always come back to vulnerability. I know a lot of us are like, I'm going to avoid the thing that makes me cry. But I would say dive into the thing that makes you cry. And I'm not talking about using
head first.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not talking about using it as a ploy for sympathy or something like that. The reason why that's a ploy is because it's genuinely effective. It actually works to connect people together, to make somebody feel a commitment to another human being. We're inherently biologically social creatures, and we thrive on and desire that connection. When you're showing me something overwhelming and powerful about you, that makes me immediately go get a little closer, makes me want to connect with you more deeply. And when it's on a subject like charity and contribution and stuff like that, boom, that does a lot of that work. A lot of it. And that's you being genuine and authentic. Like Glam said, it's getting in there with the depth of your own being and identity.
It's not a ploy to show who you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's not a
Thank
play.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And let me get my teardrops. No,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No,
I
I
mean-
mean, like, yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, people who will truly connect to you will understand, and those people who are like, oh, they're just doing it for the show. Yeah, you don't really want them helping you.
I mean, they're probably
Right,
just
yeah.
edgelord trolls anyways. Let's be
Right.
honest.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're crying on stream about raising money for kids with cancer and somebody's calling you like manipulative, I would be like,
Yeah.
that's easy, right? Like,
you
I
just
think
go.
I found the
"What?"
person I don't want to connect with. I think we've
Yeah,
you can
quick
leave.
shortcut.
yeah.
you can leave. I'm not forcing you down on watching the stream.
Right.
And at the end of the
You
day,
know?
I think it's important to keep in mind too that your community will have your back when somebody comes in like that. You don't have to feel like you're under threat there. You know, if you have to ban them, fine, and then keep moving on with you being powerful in that moment. Your people will be there with you. If a troll happens to show up, don't worry about that.
Yeah, especially when you've given all your viewers swords. That person's out.
Yes, all the swords.
You'll just see 8 messages of so and so's banned as person. So, yeah.
The
That's
man
true.
hammer.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for us on that note, guys. Thank you guys, Bonsai, Glam. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Really appreciate it.
Tell us a little bit about what you're up to and where we can find you.
Glam, you can start because I did last time.
Oh,
true,
that's all right.
good.
You can find me here on Twitch. Oh yeah, look at that little StreamerSquare bot. It's doing such a good job. And there's my Twitter link there in the chat. Twitch.tv/GlamShatterSkull. We're actually going to be streaming after this, which I'm sure probably a lot of us are. But I'm going to be playing some ESO. Looking forward to the expansion elsewhere coming out soon.
Awesome.
And getting our charity stuff's already rolling. We've already got a campaign up. so,
Already?
yeah, we're ready. I couldn't
Dude,
stop.
so many of my
I came
friends
back
are
so
just on
motivated,
top of it.
Hunter.
I know.
The
Let's
Play
go, we gotta
Live-
go.
I'm like on
Guys.
the plane, like, can we get this Tiltify thing set up now?
The Play Live campaign has already raised nearly $200,000.
Yeah.
I think it's
It's
over
not even
200,000.
May. Is it over? Because before the show, it was just under. So
It's not
we
even
haven't
May.
hit the month of the drive yet.
Yeah.
It's over
It's at
200,000.
196. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay, so it is almost there.
It's almost
Yeah.
there. Yeah. But yeah, we're rocking.
Cool.
We're rolling. So come say hello
Yes.
anytime you want. We're here.
Yeah.
Bonsai?
Oh yes, hi, I'm Bonsai. I'll probably be messing around later on in the stream after I use the bathroom because I need pee pee. Other than that, yeah, I'm kind of bad. I don't have it up yet because I'm gonna do it as one big shebang. Because I do understand a
Nice.
lot of like the people that I have. I don't have that much, to give, so I'm gonna try to do a hype up to a specific day where we're going to do everything that is crazy and insane in like this 2-day period, and we're gonna just try to raise as much as getting that hype up for that,
That's a great idea. I think that's really smart.
Yeah, so it gets all the hype. Mostly just the
Cool.
smashing and taping. I just do a lot of weird things, mostly destruction. But, look out for that. And also, if you want cute dog pictures, that's food and dog pictures is what, if you want to follow my Twitter no.
Pets rule.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for letting us join. I know this is like, you're kind of like, hey, anybody want to talk to us? And I'm like, okay.
No, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. I
I
really,
mean-
really do appreciate the invite. So thanks, Loco and Hunter, as well.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
our
thank
pleasure and
you.
honor.
yeah.
I am the Hunter Wild. You will not find me on twitch.tv/thehunterwild because I am on a 5+ week hiatus where I'm totally reworking and restructuring a lot of stuff about myself personally, but also major, critical, awesome upheaval and reorienting everything about my content creation and stuff. It's really cool. So where you will find me is right here on twitch.tv/StreamerSquare. Every Monday that we're doing our show, I'm a co-owner alongside Loco in this beautiful endeavor that thank you guys for joining us with it. You will find me. I don't believe I'm going to be doing my own fundraising campaign, but where you will find me is on a bunch of my friends' streams, including
Yeah.
at being in person with many of them, raising money for St. Jude throughout the entire month of May for their campaigns. So I'm super excited to dive in and join in on that one with friends. It'll be the first time I've ever done anything like this. That's really cool. Really cool. You can find me on Twitter at the Hunter Wild TV.
I just came up with a really good idea where like the person you're planning on being with in person, like you make it an incentive where they have to reach a certain amount before your face gets shown. Like you don't even come onto the stream until they've raised this amount today.
Withhold the streamer for that.
I kind of liked the idea of trying to find Hunter on Twitch, like a Where's Waldo kind of.
That would be cool. Actually, it's kind of a good idea.
Yeah.
Fundraising on a different channel, like on a certain day every week.
Yeah. You can do a whole like world tour.
You have a bingo card and you can see who sees you.
Yeah.
But instead of like what is it, like red and blue or red and white, it's white and white and brown hair. It's like that'll be my stripes. Okay. What about you, Loco?
You can find me at twitch.tv/LOWCO, twitter.com/Loco2525. My campaign is on Tiltify, but I don't have anything set up for it yet. So I've been working with the mods. I'm really excited this year for the fundraising because we have been brainstorming new stuff, which is always really exciting. Especially having done this for like 5 years and helping 1 billion different charities. So really excited because my mods are getting involved in an evil way that will make me happy. But I'm not gonna say anything else. I'm not gonna say anything else.
Thanks for the teaser. Jeez.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Well, only if you hit this certain goal, she'll tell you what the teaser.
That's when the reveal actually happens.
Damn it,
That is actually one of the things where something new will be shown at X amount raised. I'll have new incentives. I'm stealing Hunter's sellout idea.
Yeah,
it's gonna get down to like I'll talk on stream. Period.
I won't show my camera unless you donate $50
I'll
per
unmute
minute.
my mic.
Yeah, of course the mic is the one.
But chat would pay to mute my mic. I think they're always asking if they can ban me. So.
You know it'd be a fun thing to only put emote only mode until you hit a goal. Chat doesn't deserve to talk until you've donated this much to this cause.
Oh my god!
Other than that, you're stuck with emotes.
Mode that's like 8 years.
That's a really good. That's a really funny idea. Sub only mode until they reach a certain point.
Yeah. That's interesting.
But yeah, so if you guys enjoyed the show, we do this every single Monday here on StreamerSquare. So make sure to follow us here on Twitch. We also have content on YouTube, Twitter, our website, and we also put this out as a podcast on Anchor. So you can just search the Stream Scene on any podcasting platform and you'll find it. We're a few weeks behind. Don't hate me. It's been a busy month. We will get all the episodes up. I'm sorry. And we have Discord that's open to everybody. And last but not least, if you enjoy this content, consider throwing us $5 on Patreon. It helps support our content, allows us to make more shows like this for you guys. And you get really cool behind the scenes stuff like we're going to talk about right as we leave. So
there's a lot of stuff on Patreon. Just click on the link and just check it out. Like looking at the website does not cost you anything. Look at what's actually up for offer. It's good.
Yeah.
Before
Go ahead.
do you guys want to learn some sign language to say for St. Jude if you guys want to?
Yeah, sure.
You could say thank you for donating to the children.
I feel like if I try that, I'm going to insult people. I'm going to use the wrong gesture.
I can't believe you said that, Loco.
God.
Thank you for donating.
Thank you. You take your finger.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then for donating, you make a little hook on your hand like this and then go down.
Yeah.
And then for two, two, and then the children, you pat, like you're patting kids on the head. Pat. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
That's awesome.
It's fun.
That is awesome.
Inclusivity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Stay tuned because there's a show right after this. It is Your Brand, Your Business, back after the tax season to talk about what's to come for the 2019 tax season. So if you need help with taxes, literally just hold your horses and your tax questions are about to get answered right after this. Stay tuned, guys, and we'll see you next week for the Stream Scene.